Council. Honors College Class of 2024, I want to welcome you to Convocation. Today, you become officially honors. We all know that this year has been different. We've had to adjust to a new reality as we face what is thrown at us day by day. I'm here today to welcome you into the Honors College family. The people in this college are my friends and my mentors. They've helped me determine my career goals, taught me about leadership and growth, and opened my eyes to new perspectives. You've probably seen the saying, "We shine together" around Gateway as you've settled in over the past week. Well, it's true. We do shine together. In this crazy time, we can take comfort in the fact that we have each other for support. The Honors College Student Council exists to provide you with support. If you have an issue, a grievance, a win, or even just need a friend, feel free to reach out to us at any time. Along with the Honors College staff, we are here to make you feel welcomed into the Honors College community. So congratulations on becoming officially honors. I can't wait to see you all grow during your first year here at ECU.
Hello, and thank you for being here with me on a day that is special for so many reasons. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the Honors College, an extraordinary accomplishment for an extraordinary institution, as well as the final year of my class, the first cohort of 200 honors students. This milestone seemed almost imaginary to me at the start of my freshman year, and I'm absolutely amazed at what a wonderful legacy my class has left in our community. Let me start out by congratulating you on your academic journey thus far. Not only for the hard work and passion you've put into your work throughout your high school career, but also for your strength and grace under unusual circumstances. I know that many of you have missed proms, games, and graduations, and we're closure on your senior year. And no doubt this was a great loss. Not one that can be made better with only my words. But if there's any consolation, it is this. You are embarking on a new journey. A journey with more responsibility, but also more opportunity than any entering class in ECU history. 2020 has been a difficult year, but it has also presented us with a challenge to be better than we know ourselves to be, kinder than we thought possible, and radical when necessary. This goal is not a simple one. When confronted by challenges, there is a tendency amongst all of us to wait, to stay comfortable, and assume that where we fall short, others will pick up the slack. But I'm here to tell you today that change will never be made by standing on the sidelines. As the late civil rights leader John Lewis said, if you don't do everything you can to change things, then they will remain the same. This is true for your time at ECU, but it's also true for the rest of your life. So I want to talk about how we all can learn to make change, not just in our world, but in our lives. Starting with my challenge for us all to be better than we know ourselves to be. To start, we need to ask ourselves a few questions. The first being, do you know who you are now? If you were stumped by that question, you are not alone. Discovering who you are is a lifelong process, but for many, college is often the starting place on that journey. These next 4 years are about more than just discovering your professional interests. They are about self-reflection and uncovering who you are outside of your hometown, your high school, or other people's expectations of you. You can start small. What are my values? What are my beliefs? What are the standards I hold myself and others to? What do I want out of my life? Understand that growth and personal introspection will not always be easy. They often involve challenging yourself, stepping outside of your comfort zone and experiencing life as it is, not how you think it to be. I learned this lesson through my own challenges here at ECU. By studying abroad, switching career goals, participating in protests, working with marginalized communities, or my greatest challenge, coming out as a gay man. When I came out of the closet, I really had no idea what to expect. I wasn't sure if my friends and family would abandon me. I wasn't sure if I could have a normal life or if I could be the same person. But like all challenges, my eventual acceptance of who I was has only brought me to a better version of myself. My challenges have taught me that to grow, I need to embrace the struggles in my life and allow them to shape me into a more complete person. Being better than yourself requires you to accept that comfortability is a detriment to progress. We must constantly raise the bar on what we believe is possible for ourselves and others. In short, be better than we were the day before. Deciding what that means to you is personal, but I would encourage you to identify your values and go from there. For me, I know I value justice, spontaneity, kindness, courage, and learning, just to mention a few. So every day I work my hardest to embody those traits. I register students to vote to promote justice. I take on leadership roles to build a kinder campus. I travel to random cities in an effort to be spontaneous. And I join new clubs on campus to learn more about new topics. You can do the same. Search for ways to promote the attributes you care about in society. Be better by expecting better from yourself and making the changes you want to see in the world. Moving on to my second challenge. We need to be kinder than we thought possible. Now, what do I mean by kind? I am sure if you asked anyone if they thought they were a kind person, most would say yes. At our core, we all want to believe that we are good people, and for the most part, I do believe that people are, or at least they intend to be. The problem arises when we realize that kindness has taken on a subjective meaning in our culture, and our differences in interpretation can set the bar occasionally very low for a moral standard. In my view, kindness must be accompanied by empathy. As many of you have begun to understand in the weeks and months following the murders of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, while we are all said to be created equal, circumstance, oppression, and bias often create inequitable circumstances in our society. To be kind, we must understand that true kindness is selfless, persistent, and unyielding, regardless of our relationship to the individual or what they represent to us. And we have a moral obligation now to understand that, for many, this world has been very unkind. To be kind, in my opinion, would be to acknowledge our personal and societal failings and pursue a more equitable world. To be kinder than we thought possible, we have to think outside of the box, be unconventional in our pursuit of kindness, and honest in our shortcomings. We have to prioritize understanding and empathy and learn how to view situations honestly without the bias of our own preconceptions. Or at the very least, learn to acknowledge our failings when they are present. This takes me to my final point. We have to be radical when necessary. The word radical often has a negative connotation. To be radical is often thought to be on the fringe, someone who's advocating for something controversial or extreme. But this is not the true definition of radicalism. Radicalism means to affect the fundamental nature of something, to be far-reaching or thorough. Not nearly as scary or threatening as it's portrayed to be. When I say it is sometimes necessary to be radical, I mean that occasionally we will need to advocate for fundamental and far-reaching changes in our society. These may not be decisions that are always popular or always viewed as mainstream. They often require serious reflection on our part, but mainly it requires us to view the world honestly and be willing to fight for the change that we believe in. Prioritize this. Don't accept the status quo because it is the way things have always been done. You are here because you're a change maker. Whether you believe that or not, you all have the potential to make effective and long-lasting change, not just on our campus, but in the world. Making change is not easy and is not done on any one day, but it is done every day through your actions. I challenge us all to be better, to be kinder, to be more radical than we thought possible. And admittedly, this is drastically easier said than done, but I hope what I've said tonight may serve as a blueprint for you for the rest of this year and for the rest of your time at ECU. We are already all so proud of what you have achieved, what you've done for your community, and for all that you will do. And your time at ECU will only provide you with a larger platform to make change, so go out into this world. Be you, be kind, be radical. Thank you, and welcome to the Honors College.
Hello. On behalf of Dean White and the entire Honors College staff, I would like to welcome you all to the 2020 Honors College Convocation ceremony. This is an exciting time for you all, and it reminds me of an unattributed quote I like to share at the beginning of each new school year. The start of something new brings the hope of something great. Anything is possible. This is also an exciting time for all of us connected to the Honors College as we celebrate two impressive milestones. This year, we've reached our goal of enrolling 800 students in the college, and we also celebrate our 10-year anniversary. Be on the lookout for events throughout the year celebrating our success, reflecting on our history, and sharing our vision for the next 10 years. Please also stop by Mamie Jenkins to pick up a pen commemorating this moment. While here, at Mamie, also grab a water bottle that has an Honors College mask, as well as a new initiative launched by the Honors College Student Council, the Treasure Chest, which is a 4-year scavenger hunt that you all will enjoy during your time at ECU. You are now part of this story. You represent 11 states, 33 North Carolina counties, 38 different intended majors. You are Eagle Scouts and Gold Award winners, Black Belts, Miss Teen India International, state champions, National Merit Commended Scholars, ballerinas, CEOs, published authors, musicians, and artists. You are Quiz Bowl winners and girls who code. You are leaders. You are students in the Honors College at ECU, and you are destined to lead the way. During your journey at ECU, the Honors College will provide you with unique educational and high-impact experiences, financial resources, leadership development, and most importantly, an investment in your personal and professional growth as you realize what you are capable of. As you take advantage of these unrivaled opportunities and discover yourself in a supportive and nurturing community, you will accept prestigious fellowships and internships with the likes of Google, the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, Harvard, Stanford, and even find yourself spending a semester in London working for Parliament. You will showcase your artistic abilities across the country, present research at national conferences, and publish in academic and literary journals. You will dedicate countless hours and ideas to community organizations you care about. You will study abroad in Spain, India, England, Malaysia, Peru, Italy, Belgium, and Honduras. You will tackle wicked problems and pioneer groundbreaking solutions at the Innovation and Design Lab. Your life will change, and you will change lives. You are a powerful and diverse group of students who are invited to join the college because you are curious, motivated, thoughtful, empathetic, and committed to creating a just world. You are leaders. We have high expectations for each of you, but these expectations include an unwavering promise from the Honors College staff and community. You will, without a doubt, receive the support, resources, and encouragement you need to pursue your goals, stretch yourself as a citizen and scholar, and achieve more than you may have ever imagined. You will join a fascinating, impressive, and collaborative network of innovators and agents of change. That starts with the relationships cultivated with your classmates and will grow as you connect with upper-class students, alumni, and friends at the Honors College. The Honors College is not merely a reward for your previous efforts, it is a challenge. In the words of the recently passed American hero, the Honorable John Lewis, it is a challenge to be bold, be brave, be courageous, to go for it. We know you are up for the challenge. We are excited to welcome you and look forward to working with you. Have a remarkable year.
Hello, class of 2024. I hope you're having a safe and healthy start to your freshman year and that you're making the best of the situation given all the sacrifices you've had to make. I know it may feel that 2020 is a year unlike any other, with a looming pandemic, protests for human rights, and the cancellation of all things we'd hoped for. But while each of these events have been difficult in their own ways, I believe 2020 is not a catastrophic means to an end, but a catalyst for change. You have the power to rewrite the narrative and take ownership of the world, not just as we see it, but as we wish it to be. It is for this reason that I say, I hope we do not go back to normal, but I hope we work towards a new one. What normalcy are we rushing to get back to? Systemic racism? Activism only extending to a black square on Instagram? A continuation in the American legacy of denying human rights to those most vulnerable? Or white silence? What normalcy are you referring to? What we must push for is a new normal, where there is not just equality, but equity. Where there is not just empathy, but effort. Where there is seeing reality as it is and not just how we perceive it to be. We must call out discrimination like racism, transphobia, xenophobia, and those alike. We must seek out those hard conversations and do the heavy lifting to educate ourselves and work past our complicitness and complacency. We must work towards a new normal where everyone not only has a seat at the table, but an equal opportunity to speak. This, at its core, is what diversity and inclusion is. And as Honors College students, we have a duty to foster safe and nurturing environments for everyone in it, and be innovators and table shakers, constantly pushing for newness and constantly pushing for better. You were chosen to be in the Honors College not just because of your academic vigor, but for your unique perspective and potential to augment your community and enact change in it. You each have that potential and will evince it in your own ways. For me, this is volunteering and interning in resource-deficient areas, advocating and amplifying voices that have long been suppressed, and assisting in the creation of our Embrace Race fundraiser to provide positive youth development and representation for minority students. Each of you have your own path, and each of your paths are important pieces of a larger woven initiative to better the world around us. The question becomes, how do you start? We first have to realize our own potential and acknowledge the nature of the systems we wish to enact change in. Racism is more than just a mere distaste for a person because of their race, but rather a system that perpetuates this disenfranchisement of those people. Is Black and brown communities having more police funding than education? Is children growing up and seeing themselves as a villain, or the thug, or the maid, and never the hero, and never having the chance to tell the stories for themselves? To be socially aware is to be constantly learning and constantly doing. It's working to unlearn those implicit biases you may have and undoing the structures that put them there in the first place. Today is the day we begin. Today I challenge you to not simply be, but to become. Transform yourself and the world around you. Think critically of the information you receive, and believe you have the power to change your community. This year is the beginning of a new era. For your next 4 years, you will grow, mature, and change so beautifully, fail safely, and learn so much. Something small that I've learned in my 4 years here is something simple yet undeniable, a concept in physics. An object at rest will stay at rest unless a force acts upon it. Let this message be the force that moves you. Let this message be the new force that keeps you in motion. I'm so excited and glad to see the new normal you will create and the legacy you all will leave. Thank you.
Hello, class of 2024. As someone who was sitting in your shoes just 3 years ago, albeit not during a pandemic, it is a privilege to be speaking at this year's Honors College Convocation. Today I'm going to talk about the importance of your new college family and the power of service. As Honors College students, we have a responsibility to live out ECU's motto, which many of you may know is the Latin word servire, which means to serve. As a senior now, I've become nostalgic at my time here at ECU, and I often think back to how different I was as a freshman. Though I wasn't sure about almost everything else, I was certain about one thing. I wanted to find a community here in Greenville that could become my home for at least the next 4 years. And home for me is loud, a little chaotic, weird, and full of laughter. Home is supportive, a place where I could be vulnerable, a place to cry at my best and my worst times. And home is also where I can celebrate the successes of my family members. And as I join some of my closest friends in speaking at this year's convocation, I can tell you that after we finish delivering our speeches, our family and friends will be commemorating this final bittersweet year together as one for the books. So as I sit here now, I am reminded of how this group of strangers, diverse in so many ways, became a family. And it all comes back to service. I want to share a quick story about how service has positively impacted me. It was the first day of my internship at my local Boys and Girls Club, and over 40 3rd through 5th grade girls were sitting in my classroom, chatting loudly and, for the most part, ignoring my presence. After struggling to create some resemblance of order, I realized that what they wanted was simple. They wanted someone trustworthy and someone that could support them unwaveringly. So I learned more about each of them. I listened to their struggles, and I adapted my lesson plans to fit their specific interests. Eventually, I gained their respect and felt gratified to hear them address me as Miss Victoria. As an instructor, I empowered these girls to take control of their body and their health. Although I had imparted knowledge, I also learned valuable lessons about myself and my girls. As my Honors College friends and I gained insights through different transformative experiences, we grew together as a family of individuals who value each other's passions and interests. By embodying the spirit of service, we have allowed ourselves to become more generous with our time, our energy, and our love. In the Honors College, service is the core of our being. But during a pandemic, when there are necessary rules for social distancing, and when fear-based animosity is just as contagious as the virus itself, it's easy to be selfish and uncharitable. So I challenge you, during dark times such as this, to share your passion to brighten life for one another. All this requires is ordinary people like you and me taking extraordinary action. In this present darkness, may we shine. And one last reminder, just because we're in a pandemic doesn't mean we cannot celebrate our new class. So don't forget to submit a photo of yourself to Honors College before August 25th. Can't wait to see you all display your pirate pride.